Hello, thank you so much for watching this in playback. I understand you are watching this later on, so if you have any questions, you can still submit questions throughout the presentation if you want specific answers. It's going to be in that side control panel on your side. There should be a little circle with a question mark inside of it. I want you to click on that and you can submit questions all throughout the presentation. If you're a teacher, we would love to know an exact count of students that are watching this later on. However, we'll follow up if you don't submit that, but if you don't mind sending that in the question, that would be great for all of us. But with that said, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Happy Manufacturing Month. I'm so excited today to introduce Larsen Motorsports. They should be on the screen probably next to me. They might be above, depending on how your screen is oriented. But with that said, I'm not going to sit here and keep talking. I'm going to pass it off to them so they can tell you more about what they do. Thank you.
Hey guys. We are so excited to be here today. My name is Elaine Larsen, and this is my husband, Chris Larsen. We've been married, gosh, Larsen, for what, 36 years? 36 years, and it has been a ride. Why is Larsen Motorsports here? Well, let me tell you what we do. I actually drive jet-powered dragsters, and he actually builds the jet-powered dragsters. So our dragsters are really pretty cool. They go 0 to 100 in about a second, 0 to 280 in about 5.5 seconds. Now, that's a pretty cool ride, except for it shoots out about 30 feet of fire out of the back of them. I've been racing cars and been a professional race car driver for the past 2 decades, about 20 years, and it's been a blast. I've had good times, bad times, but the thing that has kept me going is how safe these cars are designed and built. And so today what I wanted to do is kind of pull the curtain back and let you guys understand how a professional race team takes this from concept design, business, to full-on fabrication and everything in between, the social media, everything that goes into building a jet-powered dragster. So why I have the husband beside me is because his nickname is AKA the Jet Man. And so he actually loves jet engines, don't you?
I do.
Do you love them more than me?
No, I don't love them more than you, but I like them a lot. So there, yeah, that means I love you a whole lot.
Yep. So I'm going to have him talk to you about the General Electric J85 jet engine, and he's going to give you a really quick how a jet engine works, and then we're going to talk to some of my other teams. So Larsen, take it away.
Well, thank you everybody for joining us, and I am going to take a step back and show you a General Electric J85 and exactly what one of these engines looks like. Let me tell you a little bit about a General Electric J85 to begin with. The General Electric J85 is actually a pretty old engine. They're still used by the United States government and a number of governments in supersonic jet fighters. This particular J85 that I have beside me, this one is what we call a cutaway. The cutaway engine is exactly the same as the engine that Elaine and all of our other drivers use in their race cars here at Larsen Motorsports, except for we've cut a part of the engine away in order for you to see what the inside looks like. Let's talk about a jet engine for just a second. A jet engine is an air-breathing engine. It is not a rocket, and the cars that we have here are not rocket cars. They're jet cars. The engine itself, the J85, is what we call a turbojet engine. It has an engine inlet right up here on this end of the engine. This is the front of the engine. In fact, I can spin this around a little bit and show you down the front. We have a clear plastic piece that wouldn't be there on the engines that run. This piece is just there to keep people from putting things inside the engine. This is the front of the engine. The back of the engine is right here. A couple other pieces that we'll talk about in just a second. Air coming in the front of the engine is right behind the driver's seat of our car. The engine is about 2.5 feet behind the driver's seat. The air comes into the front of the engine very, very fast. At about 250 miles an hour, that air is flowing into the inlet of the engine. As the air comes into the front of the engine, it starts going through a rotating set of blades. You can see I'm turning this set of blades right here. That set of blades, there's 8 sets of blades in total that compresses the air. The first section of any jet engine is the compressor section. That is this section where we take the air, we compress this air to a very, very high pressure, to about 70 or 80 pounds per square inch as the air exits the compressor and enters the combustion section of the engine. At that point, we've also increased the velocity, the speed of that air to speeds approaching 600 miles an hour at the entrance of the combustion section of the engine. The combustion section of the engine is this red section right here, where we actually have, this is the first section that we introduced fuel in the engine. Now, jet engines, what can they burn? Normally, a jet engine, if you look up in the sky and see an airplane flying with a jet engine, it's probably burning a fuel that the standard airline grade of fuel called Jet A. Also here at Larsen Motorsports, in fact, just off the screen here beside me is a jet engine test stand or test cell where we test engines. We've burned biofuel, fuels made from algae, from different types of cooking oils. The jet engines are very, very good at burning sustainable fuels. Coming into the combustion section here are fuel nozzles. These fuel nozzles are where we introduce fuel into this round section. Some people, if you can look at it closer, you can see it almost looks to me like a cheese grater. That is where we introduce the fuel. All of that high pressure air that came from the compressor section of the engine is now inside here, and that is where we introduce the combustion section, or the fire inside the jet engine. That combustion that takes place turns into an extremely high pressure that wants to continue coming out the back of the engine and into the third section of any jet engine, which is the turbine section. The turbine section is very short. It's literally right here between my fingers. There's 2 rows of blades. Now you have that high pressure, we'll call it a gas path, coming through those 2 sections of blades. Guess what? I'm turning these. Look at what's happening to the compressor section up here. They're all on a common shaft that runs clear up to the compressor section. Though the job of those blades, very simple, to extract energy from that gas path and help turn the compressor and the accessory gearbox underneath the engine. At that point, all that high pressure air, the velocity of that high pressure air goes right out the back of the engine, out the exhaust section of the engine, and that is the air that we're going to use to push that airplane, or in our case here at Larsen Motorsports, to push that race car really fast down the track. That in a nutshell, that's what a jet engine does. It does it really great. Hopefully we keep our drivers safe, and really great for the jet cars.
Nice. Okay, well, here you go. Thank you, Chris. I think you can tell now how much he really, really, really loves jet engines. Okay. Uh-oh, now Josette looks. So next up we have Josette. I'm going to have Josette tell you about who she is and what she does here at Larsen Motorsports.
So I'm Josette Roach. Here at Larsen Motorsports, I do a lot of the grant writing. I work on a lot of our videos and fun stuff like that. Really, whatever needs to get done, I help Elaine get it done. Also, part of my job, which is a very small percentage, is I am the House of Color Jet Dragster driver. So this is what I wear. It's called a fire suit. It's made by Simpson. So this keeps me safe in the car. You can see it's like a onesie without the feet though, because I wear fire protective shoes as well, gloves, and head and neck restraint, helmet, and all that stuff to keep me safe. So this can catch on fire for about 45 seconds. This is the thickest fire suit that you can get in racing. So it can keep me very hot on hot days, but yeah, it's really cool. And so what's also cool about the fire suit is that we can make it look pretty with, you know, different colors on it, like this blue and red and the white that you see. But we can also put our sponsors and our partners on our fire suit, so they can. That way we're marketing. So we're an extension of all these companies. So you'll see House of Colors is the primary one. Then we have US Chemical. Of course, we have Larsen Motorsports on there. And then on the arms, we have Florida Tech, Blazing Trails, Northrop Grumman and Siemens. So all of our things from our truck and trailer, our race car, they all have these decals on them. And it's because we're an extension of all these companies. So as a driver, I have to make sure that I'm marketing these companies and I'm representing myself the way these companies want us to be seen. and things like that. So
How fast have you gone, Josette?
the fastest I've gone is 277 miles per hour and a quarter of a mile, and that was about 5.7 seconds.
And when you were a little girl, did you ever think you were going to grow up and be a race car driver?
You know, I did. So I grew up around racing, and the day before I was born, my parents were actually at a racetrack. So it was something I've grown up around and I've seen a lot of, and I just knew that I wanted to do it. I just didn't, you know, get the opportunity until I was 16. So the first time I drove a race car, I was 16 years old, and I started out in junior dragsters, which is for kids aged 5 to 18. And then I just started getting into faster and faster cars, and eventually I met Elaine at a racetrack, and I was like, I want to drive one of your cars, and she was like,
Here she is.
yeah.
So there's a lot of manufacturing that goes into this fire suit. There's a lot of design process. There was a lot of science that went into making this fire suit fire protectant, right?
Yep.
So how can they find us on YouTube?
So if they go to YouTube and they type in Larsen Motorsports, our YouTube channel will pop up, and you'll just click on that, subscribe, and then you can check out some of our videos. We have a lot of cool stuff on there that shows you what we do here at the shop when we're manufacturing our cars, what our interns do, what projects they're working on, as well as all of the fun stuff that we do at the racetrack.
Very cool.
So we put cameras on the car, and you get to ride down the track with the cars.
Very cool. Well, thank you, Josette. Up next, we have one of our interns, okay? So he's going to come over here. Yep, I'm going to have you come up next. He's like, me? I don't want to come up next. I'm going to scoot over so he can sit here. Okay, I'm going to have him tell you a little bit about himself. So who am I talking to?
I am Alex Milgram,
And where are you from?
New Jersey originally.
New Jersey. What brought you to Florida?
Florida Tech too.
Yeah, and so what are you studying at Florida Tech right now?
I'm studying ocean engineering.
Ocean engineering, okay. So what do you want to do when you get out of school? Like, what is your ultimate job?
Ultimate job would be to work with underwater robotics, so submarines or underwater mining.
Okay, so wait a minute, I'm not understanding this. You want to work in ocean engineering and you want to work in robotics. Why did you come to Larsen Motorsports?
Right behind the camera right here, we have a KUKA robot.
And so what are you doing with this KUKA robot? What does this robot do?
It's a mechanical arm we'll be using in some sort of manufacturing plant. And I think our end goal would be to get to strip paint off of the aircraft. But my goal right now is just to get operational and ready for that.
So you had to take this robot that we just got, and now you're learning how to program it, how to man it, how to make it work, right?
Right.
And so what year are you at Florida Tech?
I'll be this is my 3rd year.
Your 3rd year, so you're going to be a junior right now, right?
Yes.
Is that about, okay. So very cool. So I'm going to have him walk around and he's going to see if he can't make the robot move. Woo. Now I know that probably doesn't sound like a very big deal, but for us here at Larsen Motorsports, it is a big deal because it's been a work in progress. So Logan is going to be manning the camera. We're going to flip it around. You're going to see all the behind the scenes stuff. Here we go. Hold on. You're flipping, you're looking good, Logan, looking good, almost there. Okay, Alex, it's on you. What are you gonna do?
Now can you see the
Yep,
robot?
now you can what? Now we see.
Now can you see the robot?
Oh, yeah, that's really good, that's really good. Okay, you're up, Alex, show us what you got.
Awesome. So we have full 3D range of motion. All axes move, and you move it in one or two ways. We have center point to say where it's at. Everything will move relative to it, or it can move the individual axes by one.
That is awesome.
Pretty cool.
Yep, thank you so much. Okay, now we're gonna flip the camera around, and next up, we're gonna have, who the camera's on right now, Brian Toddy. So I'm gonna kind of give you a little bit of a heads up. We got to adjust everything. Okay, I'm gonna slip over so Brian can sit over here. We're just gonna keep changing seats. So Brian's been with us for a little bit, but I'm gonna have him tell you who he is and what he does at Larsen Motorsports.
Hi, my name is Brian Tachi. I'm the Director of Operations at Larsen Motorsports, and I head up all of our engineering projects. So one recent one we've been really working on is a 3D printed steering wheel. So this steering wheel was completely 3D printed on a Mark Forge X7 with carbon fiber inlay. So this plastic fiber with continuous carbon fiber all the way around in these different layers. So this is a mid-print. We kind of stopped it to show what it looks like. Then we came out. This is what it looks like completely done. This is one solid piece with grips added on for strength, and then it mimics our current steering wheel made out of aluminum, but it cuts the manufacturing time down significantly, and it's cheaper to produce the steering wheel. So to make sure we actually wanted it to replace our steering wheel, we had to test it and do a bunch of analysis and figure out if we like it. So we took this steering wheel and we analyzed it, and then we thought, okay, how much is it going to weigh? And we pulled out, we went to its limits and broke it. So we have this one right here, which is hard to tell, but you can kind of see it snapped in half. We loaded it exactly how a driver would. So we put all their force on this handle right here, and it ended up breaking about 90 pounds. The weak point is this point right here. It would start bowing in. You can kind of see how it deflected a little. And then it snapped. So now we're redesigning it, and we're coming up with a optimized design for the strength. We need to get to about 150 pounds for it to be equivalent to our steering wheel. So hopefully in the next iteration or two, we'll have one exactly as strong, if not stronger, as our current aluminum steering wheel, and then we'll have a simple and cheaper part that we can produce on our race cars and contain everything in-house, otherwise not using outside vendors.
So tell me, Brian, what all do we manufacture at Larsen Motorsports?
We manufacture everything on our race cars. The only thing we don't manufacture is the engines. We maintain them and we overhaul them, but we do the chassis, sheet metal, fiberglass, steering wheels, we do all the wiring on our cars. We do everything in-house.
And so what is your background?
My undergrad's in aerospace engineering, and then I have my master's in business administration.
And so I remember meeting you, gosh, many, many years ago when you were just a little young sprout. And you told me you wanted to design cars. Tell them about the car that you designed and the car that I'm driving today.
So the Generation 6 Jet Dragster serial number 1 is the current Fortitech Jet Dragster Lane drives. That's a whole new design. It has a completely new back half, completely new front half. The engine stays the same, but everything else is different on that car. We shortened it up about 4 feet. We reduced the chassis weight by about 75 pounds. We changed some aerodynamic structures on it, and we kind of just optimized it for a safe research vehicle is what that is. And off of that vehicle, we've actually done reverse engineering where we took the whole car, 3D scanned it, put it into a CAD modeling, Siemens NX, and then we started doing analysis on it. We did computational fluid dynamics, or CFD, where we could see where the aerodynamic was, where the air was flowing cleanly, where it's turbulent, wherever we could adjust it how we wanted. And then a team of Florida Tech students, we redesigned a whole new aerodynamic package that we're manufacturing now on our next serial number 2 for our Generation 6 car, where we've created about 500 more pounds of downforce to give this car a more safer plant on the ground.
So I just want to tell you, Brian came up with the concept, the design, and he fabricated the car. How fun was it to watch it make its first pass down the track?
It was nerve-wracking, but it was a lot of fun to see something you designed and made sure everything was going to be safe and wired and everything so the driver was safe.
The thing is that my life is literally in Brian's hands. So when he comes up with all of these ideas, I'm kind of the crash test dummy that hops in the car and tries it out. But I think it's really important to have good communication between driver and engineer and fabricator, and that's what we do here. So, and how old are you, Brian?
I'm 30 years old.
30 years old, dang, and he's been in this industry since you were what, 19?
Yeah, 11 years.
Yep, so it's pretty cool to see how you start and then how you can make something happen. And now the steering wheel was 100% Brian's idea, 100% of something that he brought into Larsen Motorsports and trying to bring in manufacturing into our company just a little bit more. Thank you so much, Brian. Get back out there and get building race cars. Okay, next up, how do we market this? Okay, so we're talking about engineering, we're talking about how we build our race cars, but how do we bring it to the public? Well, this is Logan. Logan, who are you? Where are you from? What do you do? Tell me a little bit about yourself.
All right, so my name is Logan Ashline. I'm originally from Mooresville, North Carolina. I moved down to Florida's Space Coast to work at Larsen Motorsports and go to Florida Tech. I got my undergraduate degree in business at Florida Tech, and now I'm going back for my master's, which is really awesome. And so what I do here at Larsen Motorsports, a big part of my job is making the graphics for the various things that we do. So if you'll notice, these are our autograph cards. So I was able to design these with the help of our in-house marketing team. And so we kind of manufacture the way that we market. So these are 2 of our drivers' cards, the 2 drivers you met today, Josette and Elaine, backs of the cards and everything. Just a lot of fun with graphic design, because that's just a different way to look at the world.
I think one thing that's really important is what we say here. We could do the most amazing things, but if we don't have the people behind it that push it out into the world, like that do this. So Logan does it by what? You do it by social media?
Social media, yeah, we use all of the different platforms of social media, from LinkedIn for the more professional things, all the way to YouTube where we have more fun, and TikTok as well, so that we can really showcase what we're doing here at the race shop, including all of the student projects and all of the really neat things that we're doing behind the scenes that people don't know about.
Absolutely. It's pretty much her job to make us look good, okay? And to kind of get the message out there. So a good way to do it is if you want to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that kind of stuff, you can follow us and you can see what we do. And I think it's really fun to see where we're going. What has been your favorite thing that you've done here so far?
It's gonna sound silly, but I really like all of the banners because I'm able to like look around and there's a few behind us.
She made, wait a minute, it's right there.
Yep.
She made that one.
So I was able to design some of these, and they were just really fun. And to be able to walk in every day and see, oh, but then there's the trailer too, to just see the different designs that you come up with on something, and that they're actually doing their job promoting some piece of the puzzle here. I really like that.
And so how old are you, Logan?
22.
And Josette, how old are you?
28.
28. And Alex, how old are you? 20. So I'm telling you, we have under 20, and these kids are making a difference. These kids are the ones that are driving us into the new generation, into the future. And I think that it's really cool. We have one more guest before we say goodbye. Hold on. Here we go. This is Nitro, the power pug, and this is the awe moment. He's like, hey. So I just want to thank you guys for tuning in and kind of seeing a little bit about the behind the scenes. Nitro is the pug who is 15 years old. He's the oldest one here at the shop, and he is usually in charge. I just want to thank you from all of us at Larsen Motorsports. Thank you so much. If you want to find more about our team, you can go to lmsjets.com. If you have questions, I know we said a lot, went through a lot of stuff, but we didn't even tick the top of it. I mean, we have so much more to talk to you about. If you have any other questions, make sure you send them in and we will get to them. For any specific person, if you want to ask Brian a question, Alex a question, Josette, Logan, or Chris, or me, or Nitro, what kind of kibble does he eat? Send us your questions. We would love, love, love to talk to you. And you can actually come visit us here at Larsen Motorsports. We're located on Florida Space Coast in Palm Bay, Florida. It's free to the public. You can go to lmsjets.com and you can schedule your tour today. Have an awesome, awesome, awesome manufacturing week and go do something amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you all so much for joining. Once again, if you send those videos in, we'll go ahead, or those questions in, we'll send them along also. And if you're curious about those links, we've included them in the description. So go ahead and check them out. Thank you all so much for joining. And thank you so much for your expertise today. And have a great rest of your manufacturing day.
Thank you.